Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I'm using the Altenew Pop It Up Blooming Hydrangea set. If you enjoy puzzles, you're going to love this set. So this is the set. It consists of a stamp set and also a die set. So for the stamp set, you would stamp down the image and that covers the leaves, but it also stamps down letters for the corresponding die cuts, which is really fun to be able to do. So this is the die and you can see that you've got all of those letters that correspond with the stamped letters so that you know where to place them on top of the image. Kind of like the keyhole system for the dies, but this is using stamps and dies together, which is really fun. So I'm going to start off by creating my card base, and I wanted to create a tag shaped card today. So I have an A2 size card base, which is a finished size of 4 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm now using a pencil just to draw some faint lines using my grid lines on my mat here to figure out how much I want to cut off. The great thing about a tag shaped card is that you only need to cut off the top corners and that automatically is going to create a tag for you. And it's one of the easiest ways to create a shaped card. So I've just cut off that corner and I'm going to use this corner so that I get the exact same amount cut off on the other side. So I flipped that over and I'm going to use it as a template to know where to cut this other side. So I've just placed that down on top of that other corner and then I can draw a line with my pencil and then I know where to cut. I am going to cut it just slightly inside of that line just to make sure that they are the same size. So that is my tag shaped card all ready to go. I didn't want the edges to be like hugely cut off, if that makes sense. I just wanted the top two corners cut off in a small way, so it still creates a tag shaped card, but I've still got a lot of room on that card base. So I have just erased those pencil lines and now I'm just adding some removable adhesive inside of the card base because I am going to stamp directly onto my card base and I want to make sure that that is nice and closed. So I've placed it in my stamp wheel. The sticky mat is going to hold it in place and now I can bring in my stamp set. I do apologise for the sun rays coming into my work desk here. It was a really sunny day, which I was really happy with because it had been cloudy pretty much most of the week beforehand, and we still had snow on the ground as well. And here in London, snow doesn't tend to last that long, but at this point it was like 4 days worth of snow on the ground, so I really wanted it to melt. Thankfully it did melt. So I apologise for the sun rays, but like I said, I was quite happy with them because the sun was out, but it's not great for filming, so sorry about that. But I've just placed my stamp down onto my card here, just figuring out where I wanted it to be placed. I did want to make sure that there was enough space sort of in that right top hand corner for all of the dies that I'm going to add on top for the petals. I'm going to ink up my stamp using Obsidian Pigment ink. This is a really lovely dark black ink. It is a pigment ink, so it does take a little while to dry, but compared to other pigment inks on the market, I do think it dries really quite quickly. So I'm just inking that up really well. I can then flip over the top flip plate of the stamp wheel and then I can press that down. And I do tend to make sure that the bottom two corners are in place first and then go in with the top two corners of that stamp wheel. Just find that easier for me. So just pressing that down, and I did pretty much get a very good impression the first time, but I did just miss a couple of tiny areas on the leaves there on the stem, so I did just want to stamp that again. And the great thing about using a stamp positioner is that you can stamp it multiple times and it always be in the right place, as long as you make sure that that top plate is in the same place. I do have an enamel dot in the bottom so that I know where that should be all of the time, so that's why I've got that enamel dot there, in case you're wondering how I know how to get that plate in the right place. So for the die cuts, for the actual petals, I thought that it would be easier for me to add the colour and then die cut them rather than die cutting them and then adding the colour on top. So I'm using some Shimmer ink sprays today from Altenew, and the first one I used was Ocean Waves, and then I've gone in with Lavender Fields. And I'm not spraying them like really hard. I did want to have some of the white of the cardstock showing through. This is just regular Neenah cardstock, so I don't want to add a huge amount of wetness onto this because it is just regular cardstock, but I also wanted that white showing through. I kind of like that sort of two-tone look. I think it looks really pretty, and the benefit of using the shimmer sprays is that I do have a little bit of shimmer onto this panel now it's dried. Not a huge amount because I'll be honest, I didn't shake up the bottles well enough, but there is still some shimmer onto it. So I'm now taking that die, and there are little pieces that you can cut for the insides of the flowers. I'm not using those today. I decided to go in with pearls instead, but I did just want to mention that they are on this die. The great thing about doing it in this way is that I can kind of manipulate where I want that die to be. If I've got a nicer area on that panel than some of the other areas, I decided just to go in the middle for this one. So I'm going to run that through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. I've held that down with some low tack tape just to make sure that it doesn't move as I run it through. And now I can pick out all of those pieces. So some of them did stick to the cutting plate, and then some of them have stuck in the negative of the die as well. So I can just carefully remove that die from the negative. And then most of them are falling out at this point, but if there are any that haven't fallen out, I can just use my perfect picker just to pop them out. And like I say, I'm not using those middle pieces. I do think that panel looks really nice as is. I don't think I will end up using it, but it was something to think about. So just making sure I've got all of my petal pieces here. And then I decided that I wanted them to have a little bit of movement to them and not be completely flat. So I'm taking my Petal Shaper tool set from Altenew. This is a foam mat, and there are 3 stylus tools as well. There are 6 ends to the stylus tools, so there are lots of different sizes. I do start off with a bigger size and then I go to a smaller size. I'm just going through here figuring out that it might be easier for me to add these petals onto my mat in alphabetical order, because as you kind of add them onto the stamped image, you do want to add them in alphabetical order. Some of other sets, there was a Blooming Lantana set, and you didn't necessarily do that one in alphabetical order if I can remember correctly, but this one you do in alphabetical order, and so I wanted to just place them down on my mat in alphabetical order because I thought it'd be a little bit easier for me to grab them. So some of them are easier to see what the letters are than others, but as you die cut them, it does indent that letter into the centre of the petals. So I've just placed them down onto that foam mat, and then I can bring in my stylus, and all I'm doing for this is just literally pressing down the ball stylus in the centre of those petals. If this was a larger flower, I would go in and kind of like rub the stylus on the edge of the petal, and that would nicely cup those petals, but because these are so tiny, I'm literally just pressing that ball stylus right into the centre of those petals. And at this point I decided to switch up and go for a smaller one because I wanted them to be a little more cupped. So just going in here with that stylus and then popping that so that it cups those flowers. I can then add some liquid adhesive onto the back of these flowers, and then I can pop them down one by one. So I'm trying to, where possible, to orientate the letter that's on the die cut with the same orientation that's on the stamped image. They are all going in kind of like a diagonal way, so I'm just trying to place them down the same way. However, I did find that it doesn't honestly matter too much if they're not exactly in the right place. The finished image does still look really pretty. So obviously I started with A, I went to B, I'm now going in with C. A couple of them I didn't add perfectly on top of the letter, and you'll see when I hold it a little bit later, the card up, you'll see that you can kind of see some of the stamped image underneath, and so I probably am going to go back in with a little bit of foam tape and add that underneath so that you don't see the letter. Most of them I did put down in the right place, but a couple of them I was off just slightly. So I can just go in here, and it tells you to start off with the first half of the alphabet and then you go in with the second half of the alphabet. But for some of these I decided to kind of push underneath, as you can see here, and some of them I decided to have the petals overlapping. It just depended on what I felt like at the time. I didn't necessarily go with the look of what the packaging was, but you can definitely do that. But again, I found that if you kind of went in your own way with this, it still did look really pretty. So I think that's the P there, and then I can go in with the Q. And I'm just using my tweezers here to kind of push in the center, since that's where I've got the liquid glue. As I say, I decided not to use foam tape for these because I knew that the flowers were already quite dimensional, and I really wanted to be able to put this in a standard sized envelope. Since the petals were kind of just pushed down a little bit, I thought that that would be okay. I felt that if I used foam tape, it might become a little bit too dimensional. However, as I say, I am going to have to kind of pop in a little bit of foam tape just under a few of them. Not necessarily for the dimension, but just to make sure that you can't see underneath them. And you can see there that some of the petals have got a little bit more of a blue tone to them. Some of them have got a little bit more of a purple tone to them. So I really love having that combination. So I can just finish off with the last one there. And you can see that as I tilt that up, a couple of them you can kind of see some of the letters underneath. Realistically, I don't think the recipient is likely to do that, but just to be on the safe side, I probably am going to go back in and add some foam tape. So I've stamped and heat embossed a sentiment from the Pop It Up Blooming Hydrangea stamp set onto black cardstock, and I've heat embossed that with white embossing powder. I've cut that down into a strip, and I can just add that on with some foam tape on the back, just using my T-square ruler there just to make sure that that's straight. The only downside with that ruler is that it did push some of those petals down, so just picking them back up with my fingers. I'm then going to go in with the Altenew Ivory Pearl Dots as my centres. I thought that they would just add a little bit more shine onto the card, and I do really love these. I think they're very pretty. I did figure out at this point that this flower wasn't completely stuck down, so I'm just popping that back up, adding a little bit more liquid glue onto the back of that. And then when I stick that down, I'm just going to make sure that I hold that down for a little bit longer. It is overlapping quite a lot of the other flowers, so I think that's why it didn't stick that well. And while I'm doing that, I can also just lift up a few of the other petals that I think have maybe pushed down a little bit. So I can go back in with those pearls, and again I'm using my perfect picker here to pop them down in place. And for the most part it did cover up the indentation of the letters underneath. Some of the letters were a little bit bigger, like the Q for example, like the little bit that kind of comes down from the Q. I'm not sure what that's called, but it didn't necessarily, the pearl didn't necessarily cover it completely. But unless you knew that it was there, I don't think it's very noticeable. So I'm just trying to cover them up as best as possible. At this point, I can't see completely what I'm doing. So I am going to go back in and kind of lean right over to make sure that they're in the exact right place. But obviously you don't necessarily want to see the back of my head here on the video. So I'm going to go back in afterwards and do that. So most of these flowers you can see the flower centre. A couple of them that really overlapped I just left out and didn't add that pearl into the centre. And I can just finish off with this last one here on the left hand side. And then like I said, I'm going to go back in, make sure that they're all in the right place, and then make sure that they're pressed down really nicely. And once that glue dries, they are going to kind of stay in place quite well. But you could go in with some liquid glue underneath them if you weren't 100% certain that they were going to stick. And so that is the card finished for today. You can see like that K there, I think that's a K, it looks like a K from here, that is not completely stuck down where it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to go back in and try and cover that up. But links to the products that I used will be listed in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.